Hello YouTube, it's Christine with Souls Rising, jumping on to deliver some messages for this weekend's new moon in Pisces. This particular video is for earth signs, so Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You'll want to stick around. Everybody else, pop over to my channel and you will find your messages over there. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. It actually gets the video into the hands of more viewers who may need to hear these messages. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you want to stay informed whenever I post new content. And if you are feeling at the end of this video like you really need a little bit more personal clarity, I do offer individual personal readings. You will find a list of all of my services on my services page on my website, and I will have that linked below along with a list of all of the decks that I will be using in today's video. And with that, I'm going to jump in and get into some messages. So earth signs, as I was tapping into your energy for this video, I was being shown by Spirit that you guys are moving out of what feels like a little bit of a challenging energy that was there to bring something into your awareness. So you may have recently gone through a situation or are kind of coming to the other side of a transition or a closing out of something that was really helping you to go within and see something within yourself that needed to be released. But I'm getting that you guys are actually now with this new moon, you're coming to the other side of it. And I really feel like this new moon energy is going to lighten the mood for you, okay? So it's going to bring in some relief that feels much needed for you guys and help you now to see that that is done, okay? You saw what needed to be seen. It may have been painful. It may have been difficult, but now I feel like you're getting like a clean slate. You're getting a fresh start to move on from it and to move forward. So let's pull some oracle cards for you guys and dig into that a little bit more deeply. I have my Queen of the Moon Oracle. So get a couple cards for you guys. Whoa. All right, I'll show you what we have. We have patience. You've been waiting for this, is what I'm hearing. Fear, darkness, release, and peace. I do feel like these last two cards are confirmation of what I was getting before, which is that you're coming to the other side. So I feel like the new moon energy is actually what's bringing that in. So you might not quite feel like you're there yet, but if you're sort of not sure that you're on the other side of this, know that you're coming to it, okay? I'm getting that this may be something that was it took you a little time to move through it, or it took a little time to work through it with that patience card here. And I'm feeling like some of what you were releasing or being shown was that you had some fear. And with the darkness card here, I feel like for some of you, this was really just a fear of what you couldn't see or what you don't know. So your view of something might have been obscured, where you couldn't see maybe the long-term outcome of a situation, or you weren't sure where something was heading or where something was going. And I feel like that was creating some anxiety or some discomfort. And so it's almost like it was holding you back or holding you still because you were like not quite certain if you had done the right thing or if you were moving in the right direction. So I do feel like with that, if that kind of resonates for you, there's some clarity now that can come in and you're ready to move on. For others of you, the fear itself might have actually been the thing that was keeping you stuck. So you may have been in process of, starting something new or trying to make a change, and it wasn't really going anywhere because there was a little bit of fear and doubt that was at play. And that fear and doubt was actually what was clouding the situation and holding you back from making the changes that needed to occur. Right now with the new moon, I feel like you're here. You're right here. You're ready to let that go and to move forward from it. So you may have had to go within to release a little anxiety or to release some fears about where things were heading for you, about what you were getting ready to do next, or about a situation that's been going on in your life. And maybe that was kind of causing you to hold back a little bit or not invest fully in it. And I feel like now, as you're kind of letting this go, you are coming to this space of greater inner peace, but also I feel like outer peace too. So I feel like you're going to feel better within, but then you're also going to see things starting to line up outside of you, around you, things finally like coming together, and like the missing pieces being filled in, things starting to make sense. Whereas like before, you were sort of in this energy going, I have no idea. I can't see the other side of this. I can't see where this is headed right now. All right. Because details were maybe not making themselves known. So let's get some tarot just to get a little deeper into that. And maybe it'll make a little bit more sense too. So we're going to use this Psychic Tarot by Holland. I was really feeling pulled to this deck today. So let's see what we get. Whoa. Yeah, we got cards popping right out for you guys. Ooh, some of you had to stand up for yourselves. So some of you may have actually been facing a situation where you had to confront a fear of challenging authority or challenging the status quo, stepping up and standing up maybe to a boss or to a parent or to some type of an authority figure. It could be around a legal situation potentially for some as well, that I feel like really may have triggered some fear or made you feel like you had to confront maybe some old insecurities or challenges around your voice and your power, being able to, confront situations or confront people and do what was needed to assert yourself or assert your own needs. I'll show you the cards that we have. We have obstacles and challenges. And see, I definitely get with this, even as I'm looking at it now, like I'm definitely seeing this sense of like trepidation. It's like, ooh, like I don't know if I can make this leap, or I don't know if I can get to the other side here, but you're really not that far away from it. But there's like anxiety that may have been holding you back, or fear around the situation that was keeping you kind of standing put. And then we do have authority, which would be the Emperor in the traditional tarot. The Emperor goes after what he wants too, I'm hearing with that. The Emperor is also about like building something, trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, seeing the value in what you have invested in and created. It's also Father energy in the tarot. Conflict and defeat. So this would be Five of Swords in the traditional tarot. Firm foundation. Four of Pentacles. And 8, Power, which is the Strength card in traditional tarot. Yeah, some of you, this may not apply for everybody, but some of you, I feel like you got some foundations that were shaken with this situation. So something that you thought was solid kind of got shaken up, or maybe you realized you weren't maybe on the most solid ground with someone, or in a situation, whether it be with your family or at work or with a home situation. And I feel like you were really being pushed to go within and find your own power, find your own strength to deal with the situation and to overcome it so that you could move to the other side. But it's like you went through this because you needed to see something within, or you needed to see something about the situation that wasn't good, or that needed to be let go, that needed to be released or healed, so that you could take the next steps and move forward. And really, I get like you were pretty close already, and maybe closer than it felt, to where you needed to go, or maybe you already had more of the resources to take that next step than what you thought you did, but you perhaps didn't see it. And a lot of times we don't see it because we're kind of stuck either in fear, right? Or we're stuck in what ifs. what if this, what if that, and we get a little paralyzed. You know, I see the little rabbit in the corner of this card, and that rabbit, you know, the rabbit sometimes is just stuck in fear. They kind of freeze, right? They stop and they wait because things aren't clear and they're not sure where to go. And that's the same energy I'm getting with this obstacles and challenges card, is like this person that is sort of stopped by some anxiety or fear or this sense of what ifs and the unknown. And they're not quite taking this next step, even though the path is in front of them. And in both of these cards, it's clear that there is a path in front of them. It is there. And it may not be fully illuminated, and it may, you know, maybe there's some things in the way. Like we can see in this card, there's some things maybe in the way. But I think what you had to see was that you could overcome them. You had to believe in yourself with this authority card. Okay, so for some of you, this may have been, you had to become your own authority. You had to believe in you, and you had to step through this fear to get to the other side and to really resolve the situation and lighten the energy around it. Let's pull a couple more tarot. Hold on, I have something else coming through from Spirit with this. So they're pulling me to this Five of Swords energy. And I get some of you, again, this rabbit energy of like wanting to cut and run. So some of you, this may have actually made you really just want to cut and run from something. You may have had to really fight through this desire to avoid the situation entirely and go back the other direction. And I really think you weren't supposed to do that. I really feel like you were meant to find your power, right? Find your strength and stand up for yourself. You know, yeah, see, I'm hearing your backbone with this card, right? You know, finding your own backbone and exercising your power. You can't be in power and be in fear. And I don't know if it was your video that this came up for with the full moon, or if it was one of the other signs, but I have had this message come through a couple of times recently from Spirit, this sense of, you know, fear makes us powerless. It makes us hand away power. It is the opposite of feeling strong, of feeling powerful, of feeling confident, of feeling like yes, we can overcome something. And so it's very difficult to be holding a strong energy of fear and also exercise our power, right? So sometimes we have to release the fear. We have to move through whatever it is that we're afraid of. And that might have meant a little bit of some inner exploration that needed to occur first before you could move on. But you are moving on. So know that you're moving on. I feel with the lightening up energy here, the new moon is going to show you that. It's kind of, I'm hearing it's the turning point. Okay. So let's pull a few more tarot cards. Just get a little bit more for you. 13:31 on the timer, if that means anything for some of you guys. Yeah, you're overcoming fear. You had to overcome, okay, yeah, totally. You had to overcome fear to balance this. That's what you were releasing. I got the first two cards that came out. I have Triumph and Trapped in Fear. So whatever this was, this fear that was keeping you standing still, keeping you really stuck, keeping you not moving, keeping you from maybe taking any step at all or taking the next action that you needed to do, you're done. You're overcoming it. You had to find your inner warrior, your inner power to do this. And I feel like you have, okay? And look, I've got scales here. This is actually the Judgment card in this deck. And then we've got the Justice card, Balance. You had to balance the scales. You had to balance this energy. You had to find your way through this in order to make everything level out. I do also hear with this that things are going to start to work out more in your favor with this situation now that you have done that you've learned that lesson and you are working through it and walking into the other side of your fear or whatever this was that was holding you back. You're ready now to lighten your load a bit. If this was a situation, for those of you where you were resonating with sort of this being a situation where you had to stand up for yourself, especially against like an authority figure of some kind, please know that this with the Judgment and Justice does say to me, especially coming out with Triumph, that it's it's now possible for you to find justice in this situation. So if somebody did you wrong, or you know, your needs weren't being honored, or you were maybe not being treated in a way that was fair, please know that like you making this internal shift is now allowing the situation to turn in your favor. It's allowing things to, that energy to balance out in a more fair and balanced way, I feel. Let me get like 2 more cards for you guys, at least 2 more. Let's see what comes out. Oh yeah, 2 immediately. All right. Suffering in silence. I feel like this is where you guys were before. Again, I'm getting major throat chakra vibes with this. You know, this is blue. This is actually the 9 of Swords in the traditional tarot. And I will say the energy of this card in this deck is actually much more peaceful. You can see that, yeah, she's gone through some things, but look, she's actually looking in the distance at something so much better. This beautiful sunlight, and it's sort of like breaking through the clouds finally. Like we can see that there's hope and there's something better, okay? So it's not all negative. It's not all bad here. And this can be like breakthrough energy, and especially with this, which would be the Ace of Wands, passion ignited, following your heart, also like igniting that interpersonal power and really standing firmly in your own energy, grounded in your own energy, feeling that strength in your own backbone, and knowing that you have what it takes and that you can stand up for yourself and you can advocate for yourself. So some of you may have had a situation where you had to advocate for what you needed, or you had to stand up for yourself. I feel especially like with another person, okay? Yeah, totally throat chakra related with this. You may have had to speak up, and maybe speaking up is something that is not easy for you to do. And it could be something that was discouraged when you were growing up or in the past, but I feel like this was you reclaiming it and having to really open up that voice and the power of your voice and make a shift and make a change. Sometimes we just have to say, no, this isn't okay and it's wrong. And even when things don't work out, you know, we don't get the outcome that we want from that, there can still be a lot of power in going through the process of the standing up for ourselves. So you can still feel proud that, okay, this maybe didn't go the way that I had hoped, but I mastered my fear. I said something. I spoke up for myself, because that's a win. Even if the person disregards your feelings, or you realize like this just is not going to go my way and it's time to move on from it, the fact that you found your voice is huge. So don't disregard that, okay? So if you went through something, you had to stand up for yourself, and then it kind of fell apart, you didn't feel like you got justice, know that you working through that internal process is still incredibly valuable. And sometimes we just have to move on from things that are done and over and aren't, if we're not going to be honored by someone or in a situation, then that can just be a sign that it's time to move forward. Okay. I'm hearing one more card for you guys before we wrap. So let's do one more. The Empress. This is a new beginning. That's what I'm getting. Ooh, and one more fell out. This is a new beginning. Okay. And then we got base chakra. So this deck has all the chakra cards in it. And you got base chakra coming out with the Empress. I really feel like this is rebirth energy. This is like building a new foundation, okay, for what you want. And see, the Empress is in her power. The Empress she knows who she is. She is proud of herself, and she's proud of what she has built, and she nurtures herself, and she nurtures the things that she's building. So you have what it takes now to nurture something new, to build a new foundation for yourself. And, when we go within and we do the work that we need to on ourselves, we become the foundation, right? Like this guy in this picture, he is the foundation. And that is incredible. Like we are the thing now that we can rely upon. We are the thing that is strong and has been strengthened by that experience of what we've gone through. And nothing and no one can take that away from you once you've gotten there, right? So you can now move forward into something better, even if an old situation was a total loss or a total washout. Know that this internal shift and activation that happened is setting you up for something so much better to come in, okay? I do feel though, like for most of you, you're getting justice. You are getting with, judgment and justice both coming out. I feel for most of you, you're going to have a fair outcome here, and you just needed to work through the fear and advocate to get it, okay? But for a few of you, that might not apply for everybody since this is a collective message. For a few of you, you may not have gotten it, because I keep kind of getting that coming in as well. But that's okay. Know that if you were able to step into your power and become stronger within yourself because you did this and worked through it, that is the win. And I have found that a lot of times when we do this, situations just magically start to work out so much better for us. We come out on the other side of it in a much better situation and setup than the one we had previously, okay? So I'll give you an example of this. I once knew someone who got fired in a way that was very, very unfair. And when it happened, it was devastating to this person. But later on, they ended up in a situation that was so much less stressful. And they hadn't even realized how much that stress was impacting their physical health until they weren't in that other job anymore. They ended up making more money, being much happier, having more time on their hands to do the things that they wanted to do. And in the end, they were able to look back and say, that was awful. It wasn't fair, but it was the best thing that happened to me, okay? So sometimes situations that don't work out the way we want them to are actually freeing us from something that we need to be let go from. We need to be able to move on from. So you could have been asked to release something, I feel like with this last full moon or over these last few weeks, where you really needed, for some of you, they're telling me it's been months, okay? But you really needed to go through an inner process, I feel like, in order to do that. And that's really the key. And that's where I feel like you did the work. And now the whole situation's opening and the whole situation can lighten for you. And like I said, if you're still not quite able to see that yet, know that it's coming in, okay? Know that the light is coming back in. Things are going to lighten up for you. The situation is going to improve, and you just might not quite be able to see it yet. But that is what I feel like this new moon is going to reveal and going to open up. Okay, so Earth signs, those are your messages. I hope they find you well. Again, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe. Take care, guys. Bye.